Hello everybody, my name is Jude, and today we're going to be talking about what is the most used tier 100 skin in Fortnite. So, I do want to start by saying thank you to everyone who has subscribed and supported me so far. It means a ton. We're over 600 subscribers now, which is awesome. Subscriptions are now live on my channel where you can subscribe and access perks, which is pretty cool. So yeah, thank you guys for helping me get this far. If you haven't already, do consider please subscribing. We're trying to get to 1,000 subs by the end of May. Before we start off the video, I would like to mention that this data is from Chapter 5, Season 2, so Hades is going to be a lot lower than what he would be in a couple years from now, but this is the most accurate data we have at the time of recording this. So, at the very bottom of our list, we have the Season X Tier 100 skin. And as you can probably guess, that is the Ultima Knight with only 13,000 users. This is actually kind of crazy because I actually really do like Ultima Knight and think it is way better than the original Black Knight skin. This skin has a ton of edit styles and looks super duper aggressive and is a great tier 100 skin. I think because of how bulky it is why most people do not use it. However, I think it actually really works in this outfit's favor. So yeah, Season X had the least used tier 100 skin. That season was hated by most people, so most people probably did not actually unlock the skin either, which is another reason why it's probably used so low. The next skin on our list has been on another list on my channel, and that is going to be the Optimus Prime skin, who is also the least used skin in that entire Battle Pass, which if you haven't seen it already, I have a video called the least used Battle Pass skins for each season, which you should totally check out. But now, let's talk about Optimus Prime, who is only used by 14,000 users. Once again, this tier 100 is from a season that not many people enjoyed, so that could be attributed to why so many people don't use him. However, it was a summer season, and it is a collaboration skin, so it is actually weird to see it this low on the list. It was the first tier 100 skin of Chapter 4 that actually was a collaboration, and it did have a built-in barrage cannon emote, as well as a item in the game called the barrage cannon, which shot out like electricity, which was interesting to see. The item itself was not that great, but that's besides the point. That has nothing to do with why he's this low. Personally, I'm not a big fan of the skin, but it is still surprising to see him this low on the list. The next skin we have on the list is the Hades skin from Chapter 5 Season 2, the season that we're in while I'm recording the video. Like I did say at the beginning, this skin is so low because the season is still going on. There's still a month left of the season, so there's still plenty of time for people to unlock the skin. I actually really do like this skin. It is perfect for the tier 100 slot. It has a ton of edit styles that are really good, and the super level styles do look pretty good as well. But yeah, I can definitely see Hades making his way up the list in the near future. Also, funnily enough, while I'm talking about Hades, I'm actually killing him in the gameplay, which is pretty interesting. Next on the list is the Chapter 1, Season 9, Tier 100, Vendetta. Vendetta has 16.2k users, and was actually the least used skin from that season, just like Optimus Prime. It is very interesting to see him here. I think this is mainly because his first edit style is so weak, and the better edit styles were actually locked behind fort bites, which not a lot of people did. The skin did have some cool edit styles for the armor and flames, but it is nowhere near as good as some of the other ones on this list, so I do understand why it is this low. Sadly enough, one of my favorite tier 100 skins of all time is next on the list, and that is the Ice King with 19.3 thousand users. This is one of my favorite tier 100 skins because it looks so aggressive and menacing. The skin has a couple of edit styles which were unlocked through outlasting opponents. It's from Chapter 1 Season 7, which was actually a fairly popular season, so the low player counts of the season don't actually contribute to it being this low on the list, surprisingly. But one thing that probably does contribute to it being this low is that it is another bulky male skin like Ultima Knight. I actually, once again, like Ultima Knight, thinks that helps the skin in this case and makes him look more aggressive, but that's just my opinion. I love Ice King personally. Next up is Chapter 2 Season 6 with the Spire Assassin skin, who only has 21,000 users. Like Optimus Prime and the Vendetta skin, this is the least used skin from the Battle Pass in general. It has a built-in emote, which actually really hurts the skin in my opinion, because it takes off the mask, which is the best part of the skin. This skin was also released during a very unpopular season, so that's part of the reason it is this low. Next on the list is the Menace skin, which only has 30,000 users. Like many other tier 100s this low on the list, it is a very aggressive male bulky skin. However, again, I think that this adds to the outfit because without it, it's just going to look like a normal guy with some tiny armor on him. Menace does have a ton of edit styles, maybe the most on this entire list, and they were spread out through the battle pass, which I actually really didn't like. I feel like the styles should have been gained through XP, like how Drift and Ragnarok were, but they were actually in the battle pass and took up slots, which kind of annoyed me. The next skin on the list is another one of my favorite tier 100s. It is the Dire skin with only 30,000 uses. This skin has just barely more than the Menace skin, and it does actually have an item that is one of the most used in the entire game in its set, being the Wolfpack Backbling. I really do like this tier 100 personally. It is a very, very good skin. However, the base style of Dire, the human, is actually one of my least favorites. So I think that actually is part of the reason it's so low on the list, is because the base style is so bad. But the werewolf style, which is the best style, looks so good. There's color options. You can make them white, gray, or a dark brown color, as well as the normal gray. The next skin we have on the list is the Vampire Kato Thorn with only 47,000 users. This skin, contrary to the Dire skin and the Vendetta skin, I think is actually way more intimidating in its first original style. The base default style makes Kato look a lot more aggressive, and I just think it is a way better style than the Bat Vampire looking style. Next up is the Omega Rock skin from Fortnite OG. Fortnite OG has probably the most amount of owners of that battle pass, so I would not be surprised if Omega Rock is actually one of the most owned tier 100 skins. The skin has a ton of edit styles for colors, as well as a golden super level style, which is not very good in my opinion. I think the gold super levels from that season look pretty bad. However, the skin itself does look pretty good. However, I think the original Ragnarok and the original Omega both look better than the fused Omega Rock. Next up on the list with 54,000 users is the Eternal Knight skin. This is the female version of the Ultima Knight skin, which was the very last on the list, so it is interesting to see the female version be higher up. It's actually not that surprising though. I mean, female skins are used 10 times more than male skins anyways. The most interesting part about the Eternal Knight outfit, in my opinion, is the super level style, which is actually one of the most unique. It made the outfit have a complete glow and was different for every edit style of the skin, and is still the best super level style to date, in my personal opinion. But that's really all the skin has going for it anyways, because I do think that the Ultimate Knight is way better for what it is. The next skin on this list is the Valerious skin from Chapter 5 Season 1, which has 63,000 users. Valeria was a very strong way to start off Chapter 5 Tier 100s in my opinion, and is one I actually personally see a lot. Next up on the list, we have Ragnarok from Chapter 1 Season 5, which has 68,000 users. Ragnarok was a very, very popular tier 100 skin at the time it did release. Some people used to say it was better than the Omega skin, which is kind of hard to believe that people would say that now, because Omega is probably the most respected tier 100 skin, I would say, just because of how hard it was to get the edit styles for him. Next is the Fusion skin with 75,000 users. Fusion was the first tier 100 skin of Chapter 2, and it had two different edit styles, Vex and Zev, one with white and gold, and the other one with the same color scheme as Fusion. I actually think Fusion's accessories are better than the skin. I really did like the pickaxe and glider. Next up on the list is the Carnage skin with 79,000 users. He is very weak for a tier 100 skin in my opinion. He was the last one we had of Chapter 2. He only has two edit styles, one where he's default and one where he has more like tendrils and stuff. He also has a glider and a pickaxe that is built in that you can only use on him, which kind of lowers him in my opinion, because I want to use the accessories with other skins, not just Carnage, even if it wouldn't make sense. Next up is the Ageless from Chapter 4 Season 1 with 82,000 users. This skin is a young version of Jenna, which is the main antagonist of Fortnite. It is very interesting to see that the main antagonist, Jenna, does not actually have his own skin, but only a younger version of him. The next skin on the list was the first legendary outfit, and also not even technically tier 100, it is the Black Knight. Black Knight was the very first max battle pass skin, that's why he's on the list, and he has 93,000 users, which is actually kind of surprising considering he is the oldest tier 100 skin on the list. Next up is Chapter 4 Season 2's Tier 100 Mizuki, which has over 99,000 users, almost 100,000. Another Tier 100 skin that I really do like. It's pretty sweaty from what I can gather. It is a very slim Tier 100, and it is actually on the higher end of the list compared to all the bulky ones that we see at the bottom. Next up is the Rick Sanchez skin, and it is the first to break 100,000 uses with 133,000. This skin is still used a ton today, and it was talked about so much when it first came out. The skin has an item shop counterpart, which is Mecha Morty, as well as some other Rick and Morty skins, and it has like the Rick Dance emote, which used to be very popular. I really do like this skin. This is one of the better collab Tier 100s in my opinion. Next up with 135,000 uses, just 2,000 more than Rick, is the Doctor Strange skin from the Chapter 3 Season 2 Battle Pass. One of the many Marvel Tier 100s from Chapter 3, this skin does have a couple of super styles, but that's just about it. This is one of the weaker Tier 100 skins in my opinion, so I'm kind of surprised to see it up this high, but that's probably just because he's such a likable Marvel character. Next up is Darth Vader with 148,000 users. This skin looks incredible. This is literally Darth Vader. He has 0 edit styles, but he doesn't really need them. This skin's just amazing. I'm very surprised they don't have an item shop version of Vader yet, considering he's like the Star Wars character, but this skin is very good. Next up is the fake John Wick skin, the Reaper, with 250,000 users, almost 100,000 more than the Darth Vader skin. This skin is very interesting because now we have an official John Wick crossover in the game, and yeah, that skin is actually used way less than this one. Next up is the Omega skin with 256,000 users, only 1,000 more than the Reaper skin. This skin was very hard to max out the color styles of, like I talked about earlier. It has a couple different armor styles and has received a couple remakes since in the form of Omega Rock and the Omega Knight skin. It is also the very first Tier 100 skin to have edit styles. Next up is the Lux skin, which comes in at the 5th most used Tier 100 skin, which is actually very surprising because, once again, people used to hate this skin as a Tier 100. This skin is pretty good in my opinion. It has a couple of different color styles for her clothes. However, this was a pretty bad Tier 100. So yeah, good skin, but not a great Tier 100. 4th most used Tier 100 skin is SpiderGwen, which has 467,000 users. 2,000 more users than the Lux skin. The SpiderGwen has a couple of different super level styles as well as an unmasked edit style, and is the most used skin from that season and the second SpiderMan Tier 100 we got. The 3rd most used Tier 100 skin of all time is the Tony Stark with 840,000 different users. It's no surprise that Iron Man is this high up on the list. It has a very slim first edit style and then the iconic Iron Man style if you do the built-in emote. It has a couple super level styles, but the original style is the best, and I see this one all the time still. The next skin on the list at number 2 is the Midas skin with 1.1 million users. This is the best Tier 100 skin of all time in my opinion. It is just classic, it is clean, it is intimidating. He is a story character that came back recently and got another legendary skin that actually looks a little bit better in my opinion, but the original one is just so classic and a great Tier 100 skin. Finally, at the number 1 spot, we have the most used Tier 100 skin of all time, which is very close to number 2 by the way. It is the SpiderMan skin, which has 1.1 million users just like Midas, but it does have a few more. This skin kicked off Chapter 3 Battle Passes in a very, very strong light. It has multiple edit styles, including a Future Foundation suit and a Symbiote suit. It also did get the super styles, which was like the photo negative ones. Some very good super styles, by the way. There's no surprise that this skin was going to be very high up here. It is the most used Tier 100 skin of all time. Thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy the video, please do consider subscribing to my channel. I really do want to hit 1,000 by the end of May. If you did like the video, please do leave a like. It does help a ton. Please do comment if you were surprised by any of the positions of the skins on the list, whether they were too high for your liking or way too low. I would love to know. Thank you guys for supporting my channel recently, and yeah, helping me get this far. I love doing this. I guess I will see you guys in the next video, which will be the most used tier 1 skins of all time. Guys, that's it for me. See you in the next one. Bye.